Previously on Story Hoard.
Rami's staring at this wraith and takes a deep breath while holding on to the prayer beads at his hip. You get a faint whiff of a warm summer breeze, and when he opens his eyes, you can see a light amber glow coming from them.
Like I said, I'm gonna be dead one way or another, and if I'm gonna go out, I might as well go out with at least one actually interesting follower.
The cooling shadows start traveling up Smudge's hooves and start blending into her inky black fur. Shadows and shade starts to form more solidly into a vague horse shape.
Hoard is just heading in the direction of wherever the heck is away from this magic horse.
You all reconvene back on the main road that Momori broke off into. You all collect yourselves, and whether or not you're interested in immediately discussing what happened, or if you'd rather just walk until you make camp. It's about midday. And I can tell you this much, Rami is not interested in talking right now. I don't know if anyone else wants to go over what happened.
Nope.
I think while Momori is walking, she just reaches into her pack, sighs, turns, and approaches Smudge. And without saying a word, just holds out an apple.
Smudge flicks her ears back and forth at the sight of your bright red apple and sniffs. And it doesn't feel very different from when you would offer her apples previously.
Yeah.
Her nose is still soft. It's noticeably cooler to the touch as she goes to eat out of your hand. And when she pulls back, she turns her bright red eyes onto you, Momori, and says,
You ran off earlier. I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't protect you, Smudge. Momori kind of pets her nose. What happened to you isn't your fault. Sorry I wasn't there to stop it.
I don't know that it was anyone's fault or failure to stay the hand of the God of Shadows.
Oh, I'll tell you whose fault it was. It was that stupid god. Stupid, dead, dying, friggin' worthless umbrella. Momori kind of pauses and shakes herself. Right. Anyways, you're still cool, Smudge. It's weird now you can talk. It's really weird. But I appreciate you and I respect you. Just like when you couldn't talk. So I hope we're still cool. I think we're still cool.
Brave warrior, you've presented me with nothing but kindness and delicious offerings. We're cool.
Momori nods and kind of shoulders her pack and kind of walks ahead a little bit.
Mateo sees Mamori do this and then takes a look at Rami, who I imagine is you said he is not in the mood for talking. And Mateo rushes a little bit to get up to where Mamori is. Mamori?
Yes.
I just wanted to tell you, I wasn't, that this whole magic thing is new for me. I wasn't aware I could do it, and I wasn't trying to hide it from you or anything. Just so you know.
I appreciate that, Mateo. And I'm sorry, it's not you or anyone else. It's just a little freaky, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely freaky.
So, but yeah, I I don't know. How do you feel about it? Like now that you're all, you know, magic boy.
Eh. um, Mateo, you can see he's just like playing around with his fingers, almost like he's pressing keys on a piano. Um, and you can see that like the dust around your feet is kind of like shifting and blowing around. I don't know. It's weird, definitely.
Well, this is obviously very new for you, and I certainly don't know anything about it. So, Sildra,
Yeah.
But we don't need to make a big deal out of this right now. I mean, it's fine.
Sildra, help!
Sildra's watching you too with like the most deadpan expression.
I think, Mamori, I think we all just need like a little bit of a break. I think everyone needs to just sit down and have a meal, maybe.
Right. But when we're done with that break, we're going to have to figure out how your magic works. The only person I know who would be good at that is Momori kind of like looks back at Sildra with a puppy dog look in her eyes.
What's with the look? What do you guys need something?
Like, and she motions. She motions to Mateo. She motions with her arms up and down.
Yes, he's still in one piece.
Panicked motioning. Yeah. Well, never mind. I mean, Momori sighs. Yes. Let's make camp, but then we are definitely all going to sit down and talk about this and start being really honest with each other. And Momori kind of, her shoulders kind of raise awkwardly as she says that, and a weird smile passes over her face.
Squints suspiciously.
Is Rami like hanging out at the back of the group?
Yeah, he's hanging back like a solid 10 feet behind the rest of you guys, leading the rear, so to say, and just kind of keeping his eyes like dancing between like the back of the cart and then just glancing around in like the woods that you guys are walking through.
Soldier's also kind of like towards the back of the group, so they'll slow down a little bit until they're like keeping pace next to him. So, was quite the introduction. I mean, to adventuring and all that. I don't think most people start their first day out of the village with let me check my notes here. Murderous thieving cults.
You know, my folks were warning me that it gets a little dangerous, you know, when you leave Hearth. That's why they're kind of content to just stay where they are. I thought maybe they were just being, dramatic. And he just opens his mouth, snaps it shut, and shakes his head. I guess I thought maybe I would be a little bit more prepared for the real world, I guess.
To be fair, I've been outside of town plenty of times, and this is the first time that's happened.
Yeah, the last time, I mean, we met all those cool clowns and made a whole bunch of friends, and so that was kind of awesome. I guess Mateo also like
Silver
Wait, you
like
met-
shoots a look over at Mamori.
Wait, You make
I mean, never mind.
clowns? What?
Okay, we can talk about all this later.
I forgot that we hadn't talked. We weren't supposed to talk about the clowns. Sure.
It's fine.
The
It's fine.
forbidden clowns.
Sorry. It's been a day. It's been a real day. Can we set up camp now? Can we just
Can we not
just
talk
sit
for
down?
5 hours and then set up camp?
Deep sigh. Let's just keep walking. As he shakes his head, not before squinting at the three of you, like at your hushed conversation, or just back and forth. You guys still have quite a ways to go. You can't quite set up camp yet if you want to stay on schedule. Bearing in mind, the world is going to be ending in 3 months. And you do have to find Nosti in order to help prevent that. And that means getting down to the Draga Highlands within the next few weeks. You can't just set up camp now. There's too much ground to cover in a day. So you do keep walking for several hours, taking stops here and there, but it's a pretty solid trudge to get the next chunk of your journey under your belt. And eventually you do make your way through this patch of woods to roundabouts the Queso Outpost. Again, a day and a half's journey from town. Set up camp for the night there, just unloading all of your gear. And again, in that relative silence, if there's any conversation, relatively superficial. Everyone is tired. Rami has been noticeably less chipper about this journey than he was at the start. And as you unpack and unload, Smudge walks off around the campsite, inspects spaces, sniffs grass, does horse behaviors, while occasionally flitting in and out of the lengthening shadows of the setting sun.
Mateo's gonna go, like, awkwardly approach Rami.
Acknowledges you with a quick nod of his head as he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna set up my tent and stuff over here tonight. And you can see he's laying out the copious amounts of very homey looking gear that he was sent along with. You can see a number of, it looks like, hand stitched quilts with him. And you can see in his space he has set up a handful of candles and a hand carved effigy of a ram off to one side. And you can see parts of his dinner laid out before it.
Can I talk to you for a second?
Pulls a kind of tight smile. Yeah, I'm actually feeling kind of tired. I was
Kind of
thinking maybe...
important.
Mateo, can you make a persuasion check for me?
Jesus Christ. Okay. That's a 12.
Wow.
Any modifiers on that?
That was with a +1.
Okay. Rami glances down at the array before him and back up at you. He's like, can you give me 10 minutes? And then, yeah, we can talk. I just, I just need a minute.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. Awkwardly backs away.
He turns back to his makeshift altar that he's created for himself to the god of harvest as he kind of situates himself in a cross-like position and just finishes the rest of his meal in front of the effigy and candles.
It stings a little bit. Okay. What Sildra and Memori, what are you guys doing right now?
Sildra was kind of poking at the fire and side-eyeing the two of you, but now that you're walking back over, they are completely focused on the fire and absolutely not at all focused on anything else going around them at all.
Let's see. Okay, I feel like Momori is just sitting down, staring at the fire, eating a potato as one would eat an apple.
Is it a cooked potato?
No, it's a raw potato.
No. Okay, sure.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Ugh, awful.
Momori, I thought you lived with like a baker. Shouldn't you know better than that?
Sometimes you just need a little starch. Do you want
Can I like cut it into like a little disc and then stick it on a stick and put it on over the fire?
I'm certainly not gonna stop you. So yeah. Momori hands Mateo a potato.
Potato.
Oh. Mateo Potato.
Motato.
All right. As as Mateo is roasting his potato,
Like a
Momori is
marshmallow.
going to look over at Sildra. Sildra. Sildra.
Sildra will acknowledge her.
Hey, listen. I think you have to like Mateo's got this new thing, right? Like Mateo's magic, right? I don't know how or why, but he's like got magic going on. And I think he really needs to learn how to control it. Or maybe make it. I don't know how these things work. But I mean, since you're magic and you magic good,
Sildra's kind of like looking around, like sort of comically, like, "Oh, are you talking to someone else? Or is there someone else who you're trying to talk to?" And just holding their hands out, like, "Oh, don't know what's going on here." And they finally like look back at Mori and they're like, "I don't even know how what I don't know what's happening with his powers as much as he does. Not all magic is the same. I don't know where this came from. I mean, everything that I studied, to the best of my knowledge, was learned via taking power from our worship of the gods. I don't know why they haven't rescinded that library card from me yet, but hey, I'm not going to press my luck with that. He's never been a part of the temple or any of the classes I've been in. I don't know where this came from. I don't know how I could begin to help him control it.
but aren't you like the best person to do that though? Since, you're not exactly on the in with the gods, and Mateo isn't on the in with the gods. So wouldn't you be best equipped to help him out with that?
I barely understand what's going on with my own magic, Memori. I don't know if I'm the best person to ask about this. I mean, yes, I am able to throw a pretty good fireball. I pat myself on the back with the fact that I do, in fact, somehow manage to do the things I do without singeing myself. I don't know how to explain how I do it, though. It's just something that happens. I mean, it's like me asking you, hey, you have limbs. Tell me, how do I do this incredibly intricate sword play from a weapon I've never seen you hold before? Um, go.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying. I I don't know if it's an excuse not to try, but I don't want to push you. But you could at least give him the basics.
Shit. You see that Mateo has dropped the stick with the potato on it that was starting to toast. And there's just like a bunch of frost like where he was holding it.
Sildras just takes a very deep sigh and rubs their face with their hands. Fine. I will try my best.
Mamori beams.
Don't do that.
I have complete confidence in you. Mamori kind of pats Sildra on the shoulder.
I'm not making any promises here. I said I would try.
Listen, you're the most scariest magic person that I know. And I'm scared of a lot of scary magic people.
Well, thank you.
So, I think you're gonna do great.
I will do my best. They kind of like look over at you like, oh god, how is she reacting? Is she smiling again?
Mamori is smiling, but like a softer smile. And she like gives Sildra the thumbs up and walks back over to Mateo and kind of steals a potato slice. Ow! This is hot.
Is it soft at least?
Yeah, it is. But I think I burned my tongue.
I think Mateo has a frosty one if you want to cool it off a bit.
Momori picks up the frosty. Wait, did it fall in the fire?
Probably, definitely.
Oh. Okay, if it's burning, Momori's not gonna eat it. With that, Momori's gonna pitch her bedroll. And, we need to, like, set up shifts. I guess I can take first shift if nobody else wants to.
I'm perfectly fine with the idea of sleeping.
Momori rolls her eyes. All right, well, with that, I mean, I guess I'll go first. Sildra, you can go second. Mateo, Rami, any preference on who takes third?
From over his shoulder. Yeah, that sounds good, Mamori. Whatever you say.
Awkward pause. Okay. I guess, yeah. Let's have Mateo do third. And,
quick question. Is Rami, like, on the outskirt of camp?
A little bit. He's very intentionally, like, away from where you guys are gathered at the fire.
Sildra is going to pitch their sleeping bag, like, not next to Rami, but sort of like if there's a circle of a perimeter outside the fire that Rami's on, they're going to be like parallel to that. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Sure, yeah.
They're away from the fire,
Okay.
keeping an eye on him.
Okay, is Rami done praying yet?
Yeah, he's still not coming over to the fire. You can see that he's finished with his meal and has sort of put some things away. He's blown out the candles, but he keeps the effigy of Trifmaria by his sleeping bag.
Mm-hmm. Tries to approach again.
Round
Has it
two.
been 10 minutes? I don't know.
Yeah. Mateo, you kind of come back around and Rami looks up at you and he gives a smaller smile than usual. Long day. Yeah, long day. Sorry, what's going on? You said you had something important. Is everything okay? Or
Okay. So I would like to apologize about, I guess, the what this trip might entail. I don't think I was as outright with I was kind of expecting this might happen at some point, not specifically with that. I had never heard of this God of Shadows before.
staring at you?
I was not expecting something of that nature to come up so soon. Uh, there's I there's no easy way.
Mateo, what's going on? This was supposed to just be an errand for the teachers, yeah? Just picking
Well,
something up on the other side of the continent, but what were you expecting to happen?
it I mean, it is an errand for the teachers. Um, an errand that's important enough that we need to hastily make our way to the other side of the continent. Uh, so, hmm. Uh, if there's something that we need to pick up, and if we don't do this, this is difficult.
Mateo,
You've had a rough day, and I don't want to make it any more difficult or potentially exponentially more terrifying. But there's okay. You know the wastes, the lost wastes.
nods his head.
Yeah, that happened for a reason a long time ago, and it might happen again in 3 months. Who knows? To a lot more things, to a lot more people. So we need to make that not happen. So you know how old the teachers are, just like super super old. They stopped this god a long time ago from not this god. It was a human who was trying to get the power of a god, but didn't want to become a god entirely and give up their physical form, and they've been locked away for about 1,500 years or so, and there's some signs that they are coming back.
He has gone from kind of emotionally reserved at the start of this conversation to sitting up fairly straight on his knees as you're talking to him. And at some point, his hands started playing with the prayer beads at his hip, and there in his hand, clutched so tightly you can hear the beads squeezing together in his fist as you describe essentially, yeah, the stakes involved in this errand you invited him on. Mateo, why did you bring me on something this? I'm I can't. I roll hay and occasionally will lift a sheep over my shoulder, and I'm a farmer from a small town whose biggest accomplishment ever was beating my dad at an arm wrestling contest when I was 10. What am I doing here?
What are you doing here? I'm a library boy.
No, Mateo.
What?
He closes his eyes and shakes his head. Says, "You know what? I'm going to go to bed, and I'm gonna I'm gonna go to bed. Actually, I'll talk to you in the morning." And he is turning away from you as his complexion goes a shade paler. What the hell? Oh no. Oh no, he's not dealing with this well at all. He's scared. Rami is very freaked out right now.
Yeah, boy.
Oh no.
Mateo stays there for like awkwardly longer than he should be at this point.
Oh, 100%.
Just like opening his mouth, about to say something, doesn't say anything, sighing loudly. Then he eventually like goes back to the two by the fire. Well, that could have gone a lot better.
Oh, what did you say?
I just explained what we're on this mission for in kind of like the big strokes, the big turns of it. And I didn't take it too well.
Momori kind of glances over at Rami's turned back. Is there anything we can do? Like, I don't know.
I don't know, maybe give him some compliments about breakfast in the morning. I don't know.
I mean, I can definitely do that. He makes a killer stir fry. Or X, I guess. Momori puts her hand on Mateo's shoulder. But Mateo, how are you doing? Like, for real.
Fine, it's fine. Everything's fine. What are we doing here?
There's just been a lot lately. I just want you to know that you can trust me, and I'm gonna be there for you.
Thanks. And I'll get this stuff under control.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd personally sleep a lot better if you knew what you were doing. Like, it's scary enough that you have magic, but like, added on to the fact is you don't know how to use it, and
I'm getting
that's
better.
kind of a problem. I know, but like, what can you do? Can you like freeze people? Can you like, I don't know, make the wind move? Like what's the things?
Yes to both, and I can make thunder happen. I won't do it now, he's sleeping, I guess. But you've heard that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's scary, but glad you're on our side. Like, and understand when I say this, I mean it in like the best. It just Momori kind of like fiddles with their sandals and like kind of looks up, and it's kind of cool. Like, it's kind of awesome. It's a little bit awesome. Like, I don't know. I knew you before you were magic, or I guess you must have been magic like while I knew you then too, but like, I don't know, it's a lot to process. I'm trying to be happy for you. I don't exactly know how to do that, I guess.
Well, I don't blame you. I don't know if I'm happy for myself either right now.
Well, you're not figuring it out alone. I mean, I am gonna, be as far away as possible while you are figuring it out, but I am going to be here supporting you. Whatever that looks like.
Okay.
Whatever you need.
I think I'm gonna go to bed.
All right. Night, Mateo.
The rest of the night passes without incident.
Sleep roll.
Yep. If you have sleep rolls, make your sleep rolls.
Oh, this is that's the wrong dice. I was about to be so excited.
Oh.
It's like a 19 for sleep. That's so many sleep. Oh, 8. That's still good. I sleep.
That's a 10.
I get my health back. Yes. Yay.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do we get a long rest, Grace?
Yes, this counts as a long rest. You guys are going to bed. Sildra on a 10. This dream is rather unassuming. You're sitting on the bridge near your usual fishing spot. It's you and your rod in a beautiful summer day as you're casting back and forth, trying to find something that'll bite. And as you reel back your rod, the sun catches the hook in a way that makes you stop before throwing it forward. And as you bring your lure to your face, you see that it's not its usual shiny silver. The hook has become petrified. And in your dream, you cast that hook forward regardless as it dips below the surface. And you see the petrification spread throughout the water, turning everything, slowly but surely, a shimmering green before settling into solid stone. You're awake. And it is the next day. The next few days pass pretty uneventfully. It's a lot of just walking, following the route on the map that your teachers provided you that directs you as close to the wastes as you can get. You pass through a number of travelers' checkpoints here and there. You start seeing other people on the roads. Not once are you ambushed again. Not once is there anything that threatens your physical safety. A few curious onlookers perhaps stare at Smudge a little bit longer than they normally would have, considering her appearance these days. But a quick look in return from her has people scurrying on by without comment. Eventually, you all manage to make it to the Queso Outpost. It's a crossroads of sorts that delineate the routes towards the east and the eastern coast settlement of Sunback, and the more southern route that twines around the southern wastes and leads more directly into the Draga region. And at this crossroads, there's a number of traders, a number of people looking to exchange goods, restock, resupply on their travels before they hit the long stretch of road headed south. You are able to see the very outskirts of the waste. And it's a curious sight. I don't believe any of you have seen it this close before. Maybe from a distance, maybe from the height of a high vantage point, but never quite at eye level. The wastes are a curious thing. It is a barren stretch of land on your map. A blot in the middle of the continent of unexplorable dust and obfuscation. And it's strange because in person, it's pretty much the exact same thing to a point. Running around the entirety of the wastes are various gates and stopping points and barricades, all constructed over seemingly hundreds of years, delineating the safety before entering the wasteland. And you can see what seems like an expansion that has taken place over the years, with the oldest gates being pushed noticeably further into the dry, cracked land, and the newer ones still pristine, sitting on bright green grass as a warning of what lies ahead. There are any number of trinkets and valuables and talismans left on these gates, left by travelers seeking something within. It's quiet and not in a comforting way, because looking into the cloud of dust and sandstorm, it seems impossible that there could be anything inside there. But right outside those gates, it is a bustling crossroads of merchants and travelers. Rami takes a look deep into the wastes as far as he can squint his eyes. So we're not going through. At least not easily.
No, we're going to have to take the long way around, I think.
Alright. Well, you guys, I don't know where you're getting up to. I need to pick up a few, I need some more candles and matches and things. I'm gonna, and he just kind of like excuses himself to just start chatting with a few merchants, here and there. The last few days, Rami has been not antisocial, but certainly not his usual very sociable self. Mateo, after your conversation with him, he, how do I want to say this? He's still with you. He didn't turn back. He has not outright said anything regarding the end of the world lore drop that you gave him.
Mm-hmm.
But you have noticed a much more obvious, attachment to any of his harvest god beads or talismans that he's had on his person that he's fidgeting with almost constantly now. As you guys are just kind of hanging around, there are a number of merchants going back and forth trying to hawk some wares. A few of them walking by take a stop at Smudge. One of them lifts her goggles up from her face, looking like she's ready to walk into the waste herself, all done up in protective gear. She gives a low whistle and says, "Oh my, what a beautiful seed. Oh, someone must have some sort of in with a powerful god. Look at this."
She's not for sale.
Don't worry,
Keep it moving.
Hustles closer to Smudge and crosses her arms to back Mateo up.
I do accept offerings.
Mori kind of looks back a little bit concerned.
If freely given.
And kind of lips at one of your braids.
Oh, I'll give you an apple later. Just.
The one puts her hands up and laughs. She's like, I'm not looking to take any blessed horse. You're good. She seems more than happy to stay with you all. I'm just appreciating, I know how special a god-touched beast can be. And from further down the outpost, you see another young man with a fiery red hound bounding up towards you all. Fiery in the literal sense, as this is a scarlet hound dog that has faint sparks and embers trailing off of his ears and tail.
Whoa. Who lit your dog on fire?
That would be Tindra, god of fire. She kind of crouches down. She's like, come here, come on, Juno, let's go. And little Juno bounds up and gives some steamy wet kisses to the woman in front of you. God-touched beasts are something to be appreciated, even if they're a little bit of a handful sometimes. But it never hurts to have a little bit of extra god power on your side, especially around these parts. Where are you all headed?
Well,
Camping trip.
Right. Yes. Camping. We're camping down in the Dragahounds, actually.
Mori.
What? That's normal.
Tell everyone where we're going.
What? Why would we not?
Because she might be some kind of beast collector. I don't know.
We met her 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, got her.
She's got a cool dog.
She has a cool dog that could burn your face off, Mamori.
But he wouldn't.
We don't know that.
Jamila, are you making friends again? What's going on here? The man catches up to the firehound, also wearing big goggles, keeping them on his face, and also dressed to survive a sandstorm, and then some.
Where are you guys headed?
She looks back up at you. She says, "We do a little side hustle, scavenging the wastes here and there for whatever we can find, and then we bring our haul back here, and it's a living." Yeah, we just came back from our latest hunt, so to say. I think it went rather well, don't you? And she's looking at her companion, who gives a good-natured, shrug. He's like, yeah, we did all right. The woman turns back to you, Momori, and holds out a hand. She says, I'm Jamila. This is my brother, Ty. And the sweetest specialist boy over here is Juno, who gives a happy little yelp.
Momori takes her hand. I'm Momori. Nice to meet you. And cranky behind me is Mateo. And somewhere Momori like looks around. There's a couple others. I don't know where they went.
Sildra's still like keeping an eye on Rami, so they've kind of like not followed, but trailed behind Rami
Sauntered
as
at a distance.
exactly as he went to go find his candle, so to speak.
Yeah, we've got a couple others, around. But yeah. So this whole, scavenging the wastes, that sounds pretty dangerous.
Oh,
How long
it
have you
is.
guys been doing that?
Ty kind of like leans on Jamila with one elbow, and he's like, well, it's 2 or 3 years of doing it as a source of, we gotta put bread on the table somehow. But I mean, we grew up around here, and we've been going in and out of the waste since we were like kids. It's not a huge deal. He's trying very hard to look very cool in front of you, Momori. And his sister just kind of like shrugs him off her shoulder, and she's like, it is dangerous work, hence the get up. It's a never-ending raging sandstorm that seems to grow infinitely bigger as the years go by. You know how it goes. Sandstorm gets bigger, and the opportunity for more scavenging just grows from there as people push further away from it and leave stuff behind. And sometimes you get some really cool finds, and sometimes you get a bag of rocks.
Momori kind of laughs awkwardly. Right. She like grips her arm. Yeah, all that sand, huh?
Sand and dust and debris and, remnants of old settlements that have been consumed by the dust. Yeah, it's, you don't breathe it. And she puts her bandana over her mouth real quick.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that.
Okay, you guys find anything good out there?
Ty shifts his posture. He's like, oh, we find all sorts if someone's got the right interest, and kind of does the little like, show me the money hand gesture.
What?
What is it, invisible or something?
Momori takes his hand and shakes it.
We have a customer.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but it felt weird to leave you hanging. So, but I mean, you ever come across anything, big out there?
Kind of like breathes out. The further in you go, the more likely you are to find ruins, I guess. But the further in you go, the harsher it gets. So it's kind of a toss-up. The more visible structures you can see, further on the outskirts is something, but I guess, big as in size or big as in like, whoa.
The second one.
He glances at his sister, who taps her chin, and she says, I've only heard rumors of it, but, and she leans in a little bit conspiratorially. Supposedly, near the center of the waste, so pretty deep in, supposedly there is a gate. Pretty old, guarded by 2 guards, stone, the very, very traditional, but it's a gate to nothing. I've never seen it, but I mean, if you're ever able to make it that far in, there's definitely something worth checking out in there.
Yeah, you'd have to go through a lot of stuff though to get there. If it's in the middle, Laura kind of shuffles her feet.
What do you have for sale now?
Let's see. We've got, and now Jamila's rummaging through her bag. Says, we've got handy dandy compass that will always point south.
So a compass?
So we also have, digging a little bit deeper. Let's see. We've got this beautiful, compact, and let's see. This is a comb. This is this haul seems like mostly junk. We got this. Kind of. Here's something. You might appreciate. It's a very pretty. I guess it's an armband, and she holds it out, and it is a stone armband. It's a circlet that looks like it would wrap around someone's bicep. And the circlet is made of a twining branch motif in a very familiar stone composition.
What does that do?
Does it do anything?
It makes your bicep look really cool. Here. I mean, like, you can try it on, and she goes to put it on your wrist.
Oh,
We'll take it.
Ooh. Sold for 20 gold.
Would you take 10?
yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Sold for 10 gold. And you are the proud owners of a very handsome stone armband.
Also, Jamila, I'm wondering, do you know where they sell those, she kind of motions to her face, scarves for, so you don't breathe in too much sand?
Oh, true. Yeah. Definitely if you're going to be traveling in and along the perimeter of the waste, these are a must-have. Yeah, you can grab these from any of the merchants around here. I mean, they'll sell them to you for fairly cheap, and you can get these cute designs. And if you want, you can match them with different scarves and whatever. Definitely, stock up on these, and then goggles for sure. And you'll probably want some protective gloves because the dust will dry out your hands so bad. You don't want cracked hands, trust me. And you guys are chattering away as Kai starts investigating Smudge with a firehound and minding their own business. Rami comes back over after having made his purchases, and he's like, "Oh, new friends, very, very cool. Yeah, are we set to go?"
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe, just visiting a shop and purchasing a couple scarves for us, and, some gloves too. So, let me do that real quick, and then Mamori kind of casts a shy, regretful glance at Jamila and Ty, and she's like, I guess, it was great meeting you guys. Thanks for all the tips.
Anytime. Hey, listen. And Ty kind of leans in. He says, if you can avoid them, the wastes are, we've lived here around them, so we kind of know how to handle them. But if you're not used to them, you might be better off, finding a different, part of the countryside to explore. Not that you're probably not capable, but
Oh, believe me, if we could avoid them, that would be super ideal for me too. Thank you. Appreciate.
Amori, I think they have your color over here.
Oh, yeah. Nice meeting you guys. Bye. And Momori kind of hustles back over to Mateo.
You don't need to tell everyone all of our business all the time, you know?
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with making a couple friends, and we learned some important information.
Yeah, I got a bracelet we have to destroy later or something.
Yeah, but it's better than them having it. I mean, imagine them having it without knowing that it was, part of the thing.
Mm.
I think, it's fair to say that we can pick out like 4 scarves for each of us. One for, and then gloves.
You pick out your gear from one of the vendors. They kit you out, and you are well and truly prepared for when you eventually make your way through the wastes themselves. And as you're making your purchases and as you're going from stall to stall to pick these things up, you start seeing familiar looking flyers plastered on a few of
God blast!
the caravan sides.
Momori kind of picks ones up, looks at it.
It's different than the last one you saw, but there's no mistaking the sigil of the Heretics troop. But what stands out even more is the curious fine embellishments along the edges of the poster and the sparkling green handwriting that says, "A new act coming to a village near you."
Story Hoard is produced by Grace, Maddie, Margaret, and Kev. Our theme song was written and composed by Vocal Outburst. Follow for updates and artwork on Twitter and Tumblr at StoryHoardPod, or visit our website at storyhoard.card.co. You can find all these links and more in the description of this episode.
Got friggin' nasty entering his villain era.
What's our boy done now?
He's been our friend this whole time otherwise.
Entering his possessed era.
Yeah. All right, well, we gotta go save Nasty. What else is new?
My man is coming back, and I'm so excited.
Is he gonna have the bell bottoms, Grace?
Yes, of course.
Is there gonna be an outfit change?
A dramatic outfit change for the second arc? Yes! Oh, he's gonna look so good. I have plans for him. I have plans for my whole troop. I'm so excited I get to go back to Clown Town.
Clown Town. Grace, did you ever leave? Be honest.
I'm nasty-brained, what can I say?
Oh, that's just bad.